All right, here we go. So, Jerry, tell me a little bit about yourself, something that wouldn't be on your resume, interests, hobbies, family, just anything.
Um, I have a 17-month-old son.
Oh, congratulations. That's
Thank you.
awesome. That's awesome. Do you have other children or is that your first one?
No, he's one and only. His dad has three other girls. So from 21 to 7, he's the
Okay.
baby.
That's a fun age. That's a very fun age. Anything else about yourself? Hobbies, family, just anything.
Um, no, that's it. He pretty much takes up every ounce of my time.
Gotcha. And what position are you applying for within Alleman Associates? Like um what are you looking to
I
um
believe it was bookkeeping,
okay.
accounting.
And what kind of experience do you have in that?
Um, Mainly my focus has been in construction bookkeeping,
Okay.
but every aspect of bookkeeping I've done: accounts payable, accounts receivable, taxes.
Gotcha. And how many years have you done that?
Oh, over 15 years.
Okay, cool. And what do you like most about it?
I love numbers. I'm a very big, I have to make sure that everything equals out, the bills get paid, the money comes in that's supposed to be owed.
Got it. And if you could be doing anything in the world, money was no object, what would you love to be doing?
Accounting, bookkeeping. I'm a huge believer. I've been in and around doing accounting work most of my life.
Okay,
So I just fell in love with it, and it's something that I truly enjoy.
got it. And what would you say the three most important things are in your next position that you would be your next career position? What are the three most important things to you?
Stability, um, the length of how long a company's going to be in business, and benefits.
Got it. And have you had experiences with other companies where there maybe hasn't been stability or they've gone out of business?
Um, One, it had to go out of business because the owner passed away.
Okay,
Um, Another one was due to COVID, and there wasn't much room for my job to. I couldn't do it from home. I had to do it in the office, but I wound up with shingles twice at, within 2 months, and so all of my bosses were immunocompromised, so they had to let me go because of that.
got it, got it. Are you looking for a remote position or are you able to go into the
No,
office and
I
work?
want to go in the office. No, 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 no. I could do at home work if need be, but I would prefer to have somewhere to go every day, if
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, okay. And from your resume and past, what's the longest you've been employed in a position?
I was an office manager for JE Biggs House Movers
Okay.
for 10 years, almost
Okay.
10 years.
Okay. And your last three positions, how long have you been in each of those?
Um, between 1 and 3 years.
Okay. And what's happened on each of those that have caused you to go ahead and, no longer be there?
Um, Dynamic Systems, it was in Ennis, and I got the job through Express Employment, and I was living in Trinidad at the time, so working in Athens was much easier, and I didn't have to get up at 4 o'clock to be at work at 6. And then my assignment ended with the express employment, and then a few months later, now I've been self-employed. I have friends in Houston, Austin, San Antonio that have construction businesses. And so I was able to help them because of COVID. They couldn't have anybody in their offices. So I was doing the permits and the insurance and the payables from here.
Got it.
And so now they can hire people. They've hired people to work in the office. And so I'm almost through with it, but there's a few things with construction insurance that they're still trying to teach the people in the office what needs to be done.
Gotcha.
I'm just mainly a backup right now.
Okay. And so your availability to start would be when?
The 24th.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. 1 to 10, how coachable would you rate how you are? Like, how coachable do you think you are? 10 being
10.
the best. Okay. And if you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
The fact that I'm way too hard on myself when I make a mistake, even if it's a small mistake.
Why would you change that?
Because sometimes it's better just to accept it and move on and learn from it than taking it so personally.
Got it. Okay, I like that. Yeah. 1 to 10, how would you rate your listening skills? How good of a listener are you? 10 being the highest.
10.
And your persuasion or your sales skills, so either sales skills or persuasion skills, the ability to communicate in such a way that you move people into, your way of thinking or a better way of thinking. 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how would you rate that?
Probably a 7 or an 8.
Okay. And your sense of urgency, just overall personal and professional, 1 to 10, 10 being the highest sense of urgency, how would you rate your sense of urgency?
A 10.
Okay. And that's high. Jerry, why would you say your sense of urgency is so high?
When I worked at JDS Pavement, I had 7 bosses. So
Wow.
I would get thrown things all the time from all 7 of them, and it was prioritizing and making sure that everything got out as quickly as possible, as efficient as possible, and making sure that the job was done correctly and everybody was happy.
Got it. So why do you think you have that ability, or why do you think you have a high sense of urgency? What inside of you, is that something you've always had? Can you think of?
Yes, and I'm very OCD, ADD. Everything has to be done in a certain way, certain order, and done as soon as possible. Because if it's not done as soon as possible, I can't procrastinate.
Yeah, that's cool. That was my next question. 1 to 10, how much of a procrastinator are you? 10 being the highest, 1 is not at all.
No, I'm not a procrastinator. So 1,
Okay.
I can't procrastinate.
And let's say you did procrastinate. If you were to procrastinate, why about anything? Why would you procrastinate if you did?
With if there's a track record of things not being a certain way, or I know it's going to end horribly from the
Okay,
get-go, then I have a little procrastination.
gotcha. And if somebody was mentoring you, or if somebody was your manager and they thought you were procrastinating on something, how would you like them to respond to you?
Just tell me, hey, this needs to get done. This has to go out. This is how we need to do it.
Got it. And if they did that, do you think it would work?
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody said the following to you, Jerry, how would you respond? So if somebody said to you, Jerry, I think you're a 4 in coachability, your listening skills are a 2.5, your persuasion skills are a 1, your sense of urgency is a 3.5, and you're an 8 on procrastination. If somebody said that to you, how would you respond, Jerry?
I would be shocked, but I would ask them why they felt that way and what can I do to improve myself.
Cool. Is there any other questions, Jerry, that I should have asked that I didn't ask, or any additional information we should know that we don't know?
Not that I can think of.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Would you like to have me share some things maybe about your personality?
Yes.
Do you know you have a very complex personality, Jerry?
Yes. Yes, I do.
The test that you took, the geometric psychology and the pain quadrant test, the 17 seconds you took on those, there's 65,536 possible combinations. You test out as the most complex personality of the 65,536 possible combinations.
That doesn't surprise me.
Right. So in the and there's 24 of those. We call them 55-55s. There's 24 different types of complex personalities. And you test out as the most complex of the complex. Like it's crazy. So in the geometric psychology test, you test out as an analytic, expressive. So one of your greatest strengths might be you like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order. One of your weaknesses might be you like to dot your I's, cross your T's, make sure things are done properly in order.
Yeah, that's me.
Our greatest strength is our greatest weakness, and our greatest weakness is just our greatest strength misapplied. It's taking a strength and carrying it too far. Another strength that this type of personality has is they're totally opposite. So they're an analytic personality, but then they're also an expressive personality. So one of your greatest strengths might be your energy, excitement, enthusiasm. You have a million ideas.
Yes.
And a weakness would be the same.
Yeah.
So those two
trying to get everything done. Yeah.
Yeah. So those two personalities in one person have a lot of conflict, because part of you comes up with a million ideas and another part of you wants to make sure they're all done perfect. How do you do a million things perfectly, right? So there's this tension inside of you probably that's always fighting against each other.
That sounds about right.
Right. It's really cool.
It is cool.
Sometimes people say medicated. I'm like, don't medicate it. Like, that's the beauty. Like, that is so cool. Now, if that wasn't complicated enough, based on the pain quadrant test, you test out as an amiable driver personality. So in that test, totally different. In that test, one of your greatest strengths is your concern, compassion for people.
Yes.
And one of your weaknesses is your concern, compassion for people.
Mm-hmm.
One of your greatest strengths is your drive, your assertiveness. You make things happen. One of your weaknesses, your drive, assertiveness, make things happen. So in that personality, you're really, really compassionate, but you're really, really driven. So that type of personality can run somebody over, apologize for running them over, and run them over again. Now, when I combine all of that together, that's just one crazy cool person. And so one of their greatest strengths is their flexibility. One of their weaknesses is their flexibility. When they're hot, they're really, really hot. And when they're not, they're really, really not. The reason they're hot when they're hot is they're analyzing when they should analyze and executing when they should execute. And so, and then they go ahead and focus on people when they should people and task when they should task. So they're really it's almost like they're just perfect. It's like, so probably since you were a young child, people have said to you, Jerry, how do you do everything? And you probably have this cute smile, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, they're magical when everything's in alignment. So everything's flowing, just absolutely amazing. It's almost supernatural what happens with this type of personality. Now, when this personality gets off just a little bit, it's a mess for them and people around them. So they're very powerful personality. And so what they're doing is they're analyzing when they should be executing when they should be analyzing, focus on the task when they should the people, and people when they should the task. So it's like their gears are slightly out of alignment, but it is a mess for them and people around them. Jerry, I have no idea how much, how accurate that is, but from those 17 seconds of questions that you gave us on the shapes and the pain, that's what I, can see. Questions or thoughts?
No, you've hit it spot on. That's me. And I have been that way since I've been very young. The only thing is in real life, I'm not outspoken when I probably should be, as much as the test says I am.
Yeah, and the test, you confuse the test. So not a bad thing. So the test, there's parts where it says that you can be outspoken, but it also shows that you would tend not to be, like when you should be. And so it's complicated. You're complicated, a good complicated, not a bad one.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, working with Bill, I've worked with CPAs for over 30 years and CPA firms, and I've never seen a CPA firm or a CPA or an owner of a CPA like Bill and his team. And so, because it's so fast paced, somebody new can get overwhelmed in it fairly quickly. Having 7 bosses probably prepared you pretty well. Not that there's 7 bosses there, but it's just really fast paced. So would it be fair to say that you do well in fast paced environments?
Yes.
And would it be fair to say that you are a lifelong learner, and if you don't know something, you tear into it, you rip into it to figure it out, and if you get help,
most definitely.
And if you get help from somebody, that's great. But if you don't, doesn't matter, because you'll figure it out on your own if you have to.
Yes, I will.
And would it be fair to say that you're a pretty strong problem solver?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I can see where when you work with other people, do you find that people at times get, I don't know, overwhelmed or intimidated by you?
At times, not all the time, because I've learned with having the 7 bosses, you learn people, you learn how they like things done. And if you do them that way and you work as a team, then everybody gets along and everybody can work toward that common goal.
Right? I had an executive assistant, Brianne, and I said, Brianne, I absolutely love working with you. I just adore it. And she kind of giggled and laughed, and I think it was 2-3 years in working with her. I said, I'm just curious, have you found that other men that you've worked with have enjoyed working with you? And she says, I have. And I said, do you know why that is? And she said almost something exactly like you said. She's like, well, Mark, if you're my client, if you're my, if you're my leader, if you're the one, like, I think you know what you're talking about, and I try to do, what you direct me to do, and having faith that you know what you're doing. And I'm like, that's brilliant. How do we clone that to everyone? And so that kind of an attitude, not only with, the owner of the CPA firm, but all the peers and all of our clients, is a very powerful, attitude without question. So congratulations on that. That's really good. Jerry, any other questions or thoughts that you have for us today?
No, sir.
Okay. GingerAnne is, she's an executive virtual assistant, so she helps Bill and the team in a whole bunch of different areas. And then Elise is an Action Vision certified coach, and so she coaches Bill and then other team members. Bill is out this month with his son on a big school opportunity. And so he's going to be out this month. So he's got limited availability, but they will go ahead and connect with him. And with obviously him being out, the team is fairly stretched this month.
Yeah.
You know, and so, but we'll pass along this recording to him and our thoughts to him. GingerAnne or Elise, either one of them, you're able to go ahead and connect with them. They'll kind of keep you updated in the process. Jerry, 1 to 10, how would you rate your interest in a position with Bill and his team?
A 10.
Okay. And what causes you to be so interested? What's the thing that's most?
I think it would be something I'm already familiar with doing, but something that I would love to learn more about. And even though it's not in a standard field I've been in, it still interests me and excites me to get more into bookkeeping and accounting.
Got it. Got it. And you enjoy doing taxes too?
Yes,
Okay.
sometimes. But I'm not married anymore, so yes.
Okay.
No, my ex-husband was self-employed and he was a house mover. So
Okay.
that wasn't fun. But I did it.
Got it.
But it was from my ex-husband. So that would probably be the problem.
Right. Right. Well, we will keep you updated kind of on the process. Definitely connect with GingerAnne and or Elise if you have any questions or any thoughts or stuff, you want to know the process. Promise me if you could that you won't take another job before. At least let us know if you're thinking about taking another job, because I can see where Bill and his team could be a really good fit for you, and you could help them and they could help you in what you're looking at doing. So if you could promise not to take another position, at least without letting us know that you're thinking about it, that would be awesome.
Okay, I will definitely do that.
All right, cool. And then if you do join, would you say you're a quick start, quick stop person, or a slow start, slow stop person?
Quick
start. And do you tend to do?
Yeah, quick starts, quick stop. I've learned to jump from one thing to another and jump back into the previous thing. Yes.
Okay. So Tom Kuntz, he's the past president of Century 21, largest real estate franchise in the world. He and I co-authored a book, Community Business Partnerships, and he helped raise over $100 million for Easter seals. And he said, Mark, he said, you're very unusual. I get that a lot from people. I'm always curious, like, is that a good unusual or bad unusual? Like, what is that? So I asked him, I said, is it good or bad? He says, it's very good. I said, okay, what is it? He said, you're a quick start and a slow stop. And he said, that's very unusual. People tend to be quick start, quick stop, slow start, slow start, stop. He said, you're a quick start, so you can make really fast decisions. But when you make a decision to go ahead and do something, I'm very slow to give up on it. Like I'm a bulldog. And so.
Well, yeah, I am too. I thought we were talking about the other way, but no, yeah, I don't quit very easily.
So there was a young woman that I interviewed and I thought she had a lot of potential, and she went ahead and started, but then after 3 days she stopped, and I'm like, really? Like I thought she was really good. So I'm going to make a strong recommendation for you, Jerry. So don't quick start me and then quick stop it. I mean, if you stick with it, and you have a lot more experience. She was new, I think, right out of college, and so you have a lot more experience, and I think this is a really good fit, and I think you do really well. But for sure, it's fast paced. Things move very, very quickly.
Okay.
So GingerAnne or Elise, anything, ladies, that either of you have?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
All right. Jerry, thank you so much. Very nice to meet you, and we'll
Thank
definitely
you.
keep in touch and keep you updated.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll see you. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.